Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Born, and welcome to my video, which is the Royal Crossbow versus the 4 Godwars Generals. Now, before I begin the video, I'd like to end all speculation that this bow works in PvP, because it does not. As you can see, it says the Royal Crossbow feels weak and unresponsive against other players, so I'm just ending all that speculation before we begin. So first off, let's start at Armadillo. And as you can see on screen right now, I just logged in, gotta put my prayers on, and no, this is not live commentary, by the way. I'm recording the commentary while I watch it over in Sony Vegas. So I'm attacking the Criera, and what I wanted to mention, like I said earlier in the video though, it does not work in PvP. However, in PvM, it will be really shit until it charges up, which basically means it'll only hit 50s to 70s until it locks onto your target, which means you gotta do about 5 to 10 hits. I didn't really count it yet. I should probably do that, shouldn't I? Anyway, so I don't know what it really does, because it says it's got the same attack speed as a chaotic crossbow. However, it attacks much quicker with just a bunch of little hits. So there's not really any big fancy 500s or anything in there. The max hit I think I got was like a 150. As you see in the chat, it says your Royal Crossbow locks onto this foe and awakes to its full power, which basically means if you attack the same opponent multiple times in a row with it, it will gain a lot more power. And now you can see I'm hitting 100 pluses and pretty rapid as well. Actually really rapid. It hits faster than knives, from what I can tell. And I still have yet to learn all the abilities that this crossbow has. It's very unique, one of the only kind of weapons of its kind. It's got a random kind of hitting thing. I really don't understand it yet. Hopefully more people will buy this crossbow and give a better insight onto how these specials take effect. So there are a few things I'd like to say about the crossbow that I figured out on my own. The first thing is it takes 9 hits to finally lock on or target an opponent. For example, if you hit Criera 9 times with this crossbow wielded, then you can lock onto it and it'll start dealing more damage. The other thing I'd like to say is it's actually crossbow hits. It's not the secondary hits or the bonus hits that come with it. From what I can tell, it fires like 2 bolts, sometimes 3. It's kind of weird. Like I said, I don't know much about it, and hopefully more people will buy this and give more insight on it. So another thing I'd like to say is you can interrupt the hits. You don't have to hit 9 hits consecutively. You can brew, you can switch to another weapon. You can walk around, you can like do 1 hit, walk like around the room, do another hit, and then do, as long as it's 9 hits, it will lock onto the opponent. Okay, so this is the last clip I'm going to show for Arma. From what I can tell, it's about the same speed as the chaotic crossbow, and I would rate it about a 7 out of 10 for this boss. I'm going to give it like a rating for each of the bosses. I'd say 7 out of 10 for this. It looks like it's doing shit, but it actually does do about the same speed as a chaotic crossbow. Remember, I'm not using any spec weapons, or Dreadnips, for that matter. And so yeah, you just got to take that into consideration. It's about the same speed as Diamond E bolts, I'd say. However, it's not good for teaming. It's only a solo crossbow, like I said. It gets stronger as the kill progresses, so you can't really use it in a big team because the boss would die before it even gets its power. Okay, so next up we have Saradomin, which I just want to say right now, it works better than any other crossbow I've ever used on Saradomin, including the chaotic crossbow. Mostly just because Saradomin is really high defense, and this crossbow has extremely high accuracy, so it just cuts through our armor like nothing. On top of that, it's also really quick. Obviously, it's lacking the max hit, and it also has a slow time, like a recharge, or a charge time rather, to target its opponent. So I am using Dreadnips on these kills onwards, just to speed up the kills, and not add unnecessary minutes to the video. Now I can't say for certain that the Royal Crossbow is better than the chaotic crossbow here, as I've never really soloed Saradomin with a chaotic crossbow. Saying that, who the hell does? No offense to those soloers, I guess. Well, there are people who like run around the room, and that's really shit, I know for a fact. Now, one thing I don't want to do is compare it to melee, because when you're meleeing, you just spec down the boss with claws, and it's not really fair to compare range to melee because it's already half dead when you claw it, so, you know, it's not really fair. And it's not a good comparison. So this next clip is my fastest solo, or one of them. I only did about 5 to 10 kills each general, so these aren't speed kills. I wouldn't compare these to your fastest kills with rapiers or whatever. Also, my Steel Titan did accidentally get on it for a second, but only did about 80 damage in total before I got it off. So also, do not compare this to Steel Titan solos. This is just a regular solo with Dreadnips, and that's what it should be compared to. Now, as you can see, I'm gonna start hitting rapid 100s, which is pretty awesome. There's a 79, 101, 72. That's a 4, that was shit. Oh, that was my Titan, never mind. So yeah, there's an 80, 83, 100, 110. I think I messed up somewhere in there. Anyways, yeah, so that's 400 right there. I mean, you gotta add it up. It really does add up. Well, that wasn't 400, that was like 360, I don't know. I didn't really pay attention or try adding it, so my math's wrong. Don't flame me in the comments. And yeah, even though they do look like little shit hits, like hundreds and whatnot, they do add up really quickly. Next thing I want to show is the final clip for Saradomin, which I know I'm supposed to only do 2 clips for each Godwars General. However, there are 2 different methods for soloing Saradomin. A lot of times someone who doesn't have good gear like myself, who doesn't have like a Divine or Pernix, they will just run around the room like I'm doing here to avoid getting hit because they don't have high defense gear, or they just have low ranged or defense levels. So either way, it does work well with the run around the room method as well, just as I shown on screen. Okay, next up we have Zamorak. Zamorak is the lowest defense of all the God Wars bosses, or at least from what I can tell. That's just my speculation, but I'm pretty certain he is, just because a lot of people tear him. However, he does have really high offense. Ranging is never ideal here. However, with this crossbow, I did pretty well. I've ranged before with full Pernix and Divine and all that stuff, and I got fucked, like completely fucked. So I'm thinking that this crossbow is really like a big improvement from the chaotic crossbow on this boss. Not really sure why. Maybe I just got lucky from like the 5 or 6 kills that I did. Like I said, I'm not doing that many kills, so everything I say in this video, do not take it for a fact. Like, I mean, this is all just speculation, but I figured I'd just give speculation on it because I actually own the crossbow, unlike the people who post on their RuneScape wiki saying, oh yeah, hit 600 in PvP, yeah, that's bullshit. Okay, anyways, that's not why I bought it. I'm not mad at that or anything. I'm just saying, like, the RuneScape wiki is not to be taken for fact either, at least on a new update. Even though I do use them for like all my stuff. It's just, yeah, okay, anyways, on topic. This is the second kill that I did. Not really much else to say, kind of all the same stuff. And I'm going to speed up the clip for the rest of the kill so I don't have to make up conversation for another minute. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Killed Zammy. Let's move on to Bandos. Okay, and like I just said, next up we've got Bandos. Now, this crossbow wouldn't work at Bandos whatsoever if you go to a traditional Bandos world where there's 30 people in it. Because like I've said so many times in the past couple minutes, the crossbow only works after you use it for 9 hits, and then it starts doing the damage that it's supposed to. Like I said earlier in this video as well, do not compare this to regular melee solos, because you can never compare range to melee just because melee has so much more overpowered spec weapons, where you just basically almost kill the boss before you're done specking, so it's always like a 10-second kill. So yeah, here we have the first Bando solos that I did. Like I said before, I'm using Dreadnips. And yeah, also I've got some pretty cool stuff to show you at the end of this video regarding the crossbow, something I found out. I can't explain like half the stuff it does, so like I said earlier, I'm hoping a lot of people buy this sucker and find out all the stuff it does. Anyway, so yeah, here's this Bandos kill done. Pretty quick speed, not gonna lie. Also, I'm not using Void. You do have to take that into consideration because Void would speed up the kills, just increase the brew rate, or the brewing rate rather. And this is the last full clip of the Bandos kill, and I sped it up 4x, and let's finish up the kill. There we go. Max hit's about 130, not 150. I should probably take that back, but yeah. Okay, and second to last thing I want to show about this crossbow, if you look on screen now real closely, I just attacked the melee minion, then I just attacked the ranged minion, and now I'm attacking the mage minion, and now I switch back to the melee minion, and for some reason the crossbow will deal damage to both the ranged and mage minion on like different occasions. Like, I don't know what it is. I guess it's like every other hit. I don't really know. But yeah, so it just hits them randomly, even though I'm not attacking them. I've got no idea why it does it. It didn't target them either, so it was only one hit and then it does it. Yeah, so if anyone's got an explanation for that, or you've got any concerns or questions, comment them below. As it's nearing the end of the video, I always like to say stuff like that. Also, I guess you can like the video if you enjoyed or learned something or found this video interesting. I would appreciate it. And let's move on to the last clip I want to show, which is again at Bandos. And the last clip I want to show is that I did 1.4k damage in 21 seconds, which averages out to about doing 200 damage every crossbow hit with a chaotic crossbow for 7 hits in a row, which is quite uncommon. I know you can do like 500s, but then you hit a bunch of zeros. So I would say it's at least as good, if not better, than the chaotic crossbow for God Wars bossing. And maybe tomorrow I'll do a video on the other bosses, depending on how well this video does. I'll do bosses such as Nex, Calphite Queen, Tormented Demons, and that sort of thing. And I don't have time to do that tonight though, and I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible because I was one of the first people with the crossbow. I bought it in the GE, by the way. And yeah, I know a lot of people probably wanted to see some footage of it, so I decided to upload this as soon as possible. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.